Morning, everyone. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. We got gold to all-time highs. Crazy push in the Asian session. Gold is on the run. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Where are we? Gold, the Energizer Bunny. Yeah, gold is on an absolutely crazy run here, guys. Huge run. Excuse me. There's been obviously a lot of Trump news, a lot of Trump talks. I do believe there has been some more news overnight. Let me just see here. Where we go here? Trump don't think EU will push back too much on Greenland. So yeah, we've had a pretty decent amount of news come out. Gold's absolutely breaking higher. You do have still some room to squeeze a little bit higher here on silver. You had a decent 30-minute morning star play here. This current 30 minutes already breaking higher on silver. So that's a nice long on this current 30 on silver. And look at gold, guys. Gold is just absolutely ripping. We're at some new all-time highs. We're going to have to adjust these levels again. Let me just put it on here. 47.50. Look at this. Huge levels. Audio and video good. Awesome. Thank you, man. Welcome back, everyone. If you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. I've been trading for the past 7 years and mainly focus on gold futures here in the European session. We'll look at all markets there, guys. We've got, like I say, gold at all-time highs. Silver coming very close. We'll have a look at NQ as well. But yeah, the markets have yeah, it'll be what's caused the gold push. Yeah. Since the gap open on gold, it's all been based off that Trump news. It's absolutely booming. Gold is up crazy from this huge gap from yesterday, from the close of Friday to where we are now. Gold's up 1,200 ticks, which is just crazy markets. Crazy start to the year. Now, what does look nice is silver longs up into all-time highs. You kind of just had this. Make sure you guys can see it. You kind of had this nice morning star bounce here on silver. Decent closure on this 30-minute, and this current 30 minutes breaking higher. So, I mean, it would be ideally you'd already be in this on silver, but you'd be trying to run this up into some new highs. Whereas, like I say, guys, gold is just absolutely ripping. So gold is going to be, of course, very tough to trade today. Now, there were some nice longs in Asia. You guys who were here yesterday, I did go live on my channel, and you guys who were on Zoom for the Asia market call, we spoke about gold coming back up into its all-time high. Having a bit of a sell-off in Asia. He had a nice little bit of a sell-off towards the end of the day here. Found some support, and then had a huge breakout. Look at this. You could have bought here at 4 a.m. London time, and that would have been a huge buy. Buying this breakout here, taking gold from here to here is 190 ticks on a Tuesday morning in an Asian session. Is absolutely massive, absolutely huge. Let's have a look, see what we have for the entire calendar for the week ahead. I do have to shoot off a little bit early today, guys. We've got gold all-time highs anyway, but I have we managed to get a very last-minute appointment today and tomorrow for our Spanish visa, which we've been trying to get for the last couple of months. So we'll be on for about an hour, guys, and hopefully I can make it back for the New York session as well. So what do we have today? We have Tuesday 20th. It's basically like the Monday of the week. We have some pound news coming up. We just had some pound news come out 7 o'clock London time. We have some more pound news coming out. We got Bank of England speaking at 9:45. And then what do we have tomorrow? We got Trump speaking at 1:30 London time. What else do we have? Thursday, we've got final GDP on Thursday. Core PCE price index as well at 3 p.m. And then on Friday, a lot of yen news on Friday. And then US dollar news, we have manufacturing PMI at 2:45 London time. So I think where were we? Wednesday. So tomorrow Trump speaking, and then Thursday GDP and core PCE price index. They'll be the two big days in the markets Obviously, it's a little bit of a shorter week this week. I didn't trade New York yesterday because it was the bank holiday, but nothing really too crazy on the calendar today. So we'll see what we get for the day here, guys. Obviously, no, I don't do New York session. I do London sessions. So obviously, it won't be it's kind of hard to. There's not really too much in terms of top-down analysis to say here on gold. Unfortunately, guys, we're at all-time highs. There's not really any benefit to jumping on. Doing the top-down. Look at the daily time frame. We got gold breaking all-time highs. We had that huge gap at market open yesterday. Massive rip in Asia. You ranged, and now you've just continued breaking higher. So daily time frame is, of course, as we have been for quite some time on gold, extremely, extremely bullish. Very, 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 very bullish. Break down the trade from yesterday. Yep, we can have a look at some of the trades from yesterday, definitely. Euro longs. Yeah, we can have a look at the euro. Probably better to look at than gold right now. I do think, again, I'm going to get up the document to track both, because this is what I'm trying to do this year, trying to track silver and gold. Where's my silver and gold document? I haven't been on it in a while since we were away, but so far this morning, what's the date today? 20th of January. I need to go back and look at some other weeks. Again, silver is the top performer. You had a 30-minute morning star play. Pre-London. Morning star. So, look at this. So the reason I do think silver's nicer here this morning, if we can get an entry, maybe this hourly close, fantastic. But the reason silver's nice is because you haven't yet hit all-time highs. You just had this very nice morning star play here, pre-London, bouncing off VWAP. So you could have been buying here on silver and trying to play it back up into here and here. So silver, you never know, could still potentially give a London opportunity. Now, the only thing to remember with silver is silver does move very, very big. So small size on silver. I see a lot of people making a lot of money on silver, but I think, you get trapped in these ranges like yesterday, or you get caught on the wrong side of some of these moves. Things can get ugly pretty quick. So be sure to manage the risk on silver. Don't trade too big of size. I think, for me, even here, I trade 1 micro on silver. You'd probably get a great push. So let me see if we can get silver long here. Look at this. You're already tagging low, starting to break back higher. I would be looking for silver to come up into new all-time high and maybe squeeze out any early sellers from here. It's too late for me to want to buy from here. But if we can maybe pull back in 1 minute on the open of this next 15, we'll see if we can potentially scalp this on silver. Make sure you guys are on the micros as well. So it kind of looks like this is the normal, but this is micro. SIL is micro silver. Yeah, my excuse me. My trade from yesterday was actually shorting silver. I don't trade silver very often. I think I've traded it a handful of times this month. But yeah, that was my short on silver. Did I take on this account? Let me see. Yeah, short on silver. I think I took this. That was my gold trade, so it was on the other account. Yeah, I did take a short on silver on one of the other accounts, which was a very, very, very nice trade. Very nice trade. So actually, I can put that in for yesterday. Actually, silver again was nicer yesterday. Let me put this into the document we're creating. 1901, 2026. Silver. Fake out short. So yeah, that was my short. My reason for shorting yesterday, just a bit of a liquidity play. Ideally, I would have been buying silver up into these liquidity highs, but my kind of thought process was people shorting silver, risking off these highs. So I didn't get the long up into the liquidity, so I took our setup where I trade out of liquidity. So once we broke above, broke straight back below, that was my short opportunity right there. Just a very quick 1-to-1, 1.5, quick scalp there. So we'll see if we can, there you go, you just spiked out the highs, look at that. Just wicked out the highs right before that 15 close. Yeah, I'm going to do a video at some point, Corey, but the settings, there's no different settings, man. It's just here on the top screen, it's just normal. But yeah, we'll definitely do a video at some point. Absolutely, man. So silver did just spike out that first liquidity high there and selling off pretty quick. So now I wouldn't buy the bottom wick of this 15. Watching Crude, nice. We double check. Yeah, definitely send it over, man. 100%. sent over. I don't trade crude. I'm not a fan of trading crude at all. But I can have a look at the setup, man. Absolutely. Crude is, I find a very, very, very challenging market to intraday trade. For me personally, I don't. I've traded crude a handful of times. It's not a market I would personally say for our plan to watch very much. Yeah, 30-minute morning star was nice. Absolutely. There was right here, you could have been buying here. As soon as it wicks the lows, buy right here on silver. Like, that was a great trade. Look at that. Great trade. Right up into that high right there. That was a perfect trade. Gold's still breaking higher. So silver has price action to the left. So we have to still watch silver, guys. I'm not going to be watching gold very closely today. When you're at all-time highs, you don't want to be buying that high. You also don't want to be selling that high. So what do? You just kind of have to accept it and wait. Let the markets find their feet, find some resistance, pull back, give you price action to the left, and then you can trade. Same as here in Asia. You see this huge rip up? You don't try and buy it. You don't try and short it. You let price pull back, create some space, and then you keep buying. Same as, all these times. You rip all-time highs, you range, and then you get your trades. We want to take trades when we have price action to the left. And if we don't have price action to the left, like right now on gold, there's absolutely nothing to the left other than price discovery. You could keep pushing. You could also find some resistance. I don't want to be in a market where I could see longs and I could see shorts. I want to be in a market where I have price action to the left to be able to base trades off. So for me right now, that is silver for this morning. But yeah, we'll have a look at the euro. We can look at NQ as well. Euro, NZD, we don't trade currencies. We can look at the euro. We can look at the New Zealand dollar futures, but we don't trade currencies here. This is futures. We don't trade Forex. NQ dropping. Yeah, I imagine NQ is probably having a very big sell-off. It's going to be a very ugly week for stocks, that's for sure. But could also be a very good opportunity for stocks. There could be some big. Obviously, it was bank holiday yesterday, so let me see. There could be some very, very, very interesting market open swing term trades for stocks. I think it's going to be a very, very, very bearish day. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, NQ, the NQ sell-off was really nice. You had that big trend line coming up. Most people trying to buy that trend line. We're trying to short down into that trend line. So this is nice to see NQ squeeze now. Again, if we're going to see some sort of turnaround, you'd need something fundamentally to change. You're going to at least tag yesterday's wick rejection as a very comfortable, pretty simple downside target there. And probably even squeeze lower. You may even see if NQ does break this 25,250, you could easily fill this whole entire downside range. So I believe you'll probably get some early buyers trapped trying to buy this. Well, you'll very likely continue to see this to squeeze lower. Again, though, although NQ is down quite a decent amount here, would you want to be selling NQ this low? Not really. Again, I don't really see that much on NQ. Unless you can pull back and you can continue shorting, fantastic. But what I would imagine right now is you'll probably have a lot of people buying this, risking off this low. Therefore, I think there's a more likely chance that you can squeeze this lower. But like I say, if I was going to short into these liquidity levels, would I short this low? No. Yeah, definitely, Sean. Yeah, 100%. I'll buy as much as I can. Yeah, definitely. I do think, my kind of whole plan this year for the stock market side was to see a pretty bearish Q1 and then maybe see some buying into then towards like maybe the end of the year. So I mean, if I look at this on a long-term perspective, like I could see this just coming down and down and down, and then maybe then you start to make like a big recovery towards the end of the year. But like to start the year, I could see it selling off. No, I'm not. I have very little stocks right now. I cashed out a lot of my stocks, maybe November-ish time, and I've been waiting to buy a lot more. So the more these markets keep dropping, the more there could be some great buying opportunities. Great buying opportunities. As for more, long-term holds. Yeah, I have very little in stocks right now. Most of my money is in cash, waiting to buy some new stocks, which I do think we could get some pretty decent opportunities this year. But I don't think it's going to be an easy year. Last year was an easy year for stocks. You guys buying stocks last year was easy. I don't think this year will be as easy. may not go as crazy as last year. I think last year I did like 55% on stocks. 10, 15, 20% this year, I think would be pretty good return. So silver is getting a bit of a pullback here. There may be a potential buy stop. The only thing with silver is you have already tagged this first liquidity high. You do have the hourly close coming in 10 minutes as well. You can see it's looking pretty bullish, but where are you coming into? Right into resistance. So silver's at hourly resistance. You've already bounced off hourly support. Again, I certainly don't want to be shorting silver this high. So ideally, I want to continue buying. But let's see if we get a buy setup. See if we get a buy setup on silver. Again, if I do trade silver, I would trade silver at much smaller size. And gold for the day, guys, yeah, gold is, you're going to need to see a lot more price action on gold. I can see gold selling off. You know, we're very high right now. I can see gold having a pullback. Is that my trade? I don't think so. If we look at how much gold today is up just in Asia alone, you know, gold's up 600 ticks in an Asian session. Like, that's huge. Do I want to fight that? Absolutely not. The emotional part of our brain right now might tell us to short this market, try and short the pullback, but we have to think logically. Logically, when gold's at all-time highs, what works more times than not? I mean, that's continuing to buy once you get these pullbacks, as opposed to trying to call tops. Every time you try and call a top here on gold, you get squeezed. Try and call a top, you get squeezed. Try and call a top, you get squeezed. So we want to continue buying that. But if I'm going to continue buying gold, it would need to be back down at some nice support. We have formed some intraday support, so see if we can maybe get back down here and find a potential bounce. But yeah, how's any guys trade Asia today? You guys take some Asia trades? I know some of you guys were taking this. I don't know if Jack's here. Jack did take a. Are you here, Jack? Jack did take a 30-minute trade on gold longs. Good man. Yeah, I think you got long here, right? I think you got long here-ish. Like that. Which was a really good trade, actually. It was a really, really, really good trade. I think you closed it as it tagged highs and closed bearish. You got out of the trade. Again, which I think is very logical. Very, very, very logical, because it looks very messy. But yeah, once you reclose back above, yeah, that would have been a great re-entry. Especially not only reclosing back above, but tagging the lows and then getting that bullish. I didn't really get the bullish closure. Kind of by the time you close bullish, it was all the way above here. Away from the screen when the re-entry came. Yeah. I mean, if you were on it and you would have taken it there, yeah, that would have been a fantastic re-entry moment. But I think where you execute and where you exit was good. Because where you exited, so you got long about here, and you got out, I think, like somewhere around here at the close, right? It was a good exit because you also tagged the highs and closed bearish. You didn't just close bearish, you tagged the highs and closed bearish. So that's a good exit. And once you tagged lows and reclosed back bullish, given how strong gold is, yeah, that was a great re-entry right there. That was a really, really good trade. Worried about price ranging? Yeah, definitely. I think that's why, again, you know, you could have just waited for the hourly closure above. Like, take it from here. You still have, from here, you know, you might convince yourself, you know, that it's too high or you've missed the move. It's like, well, from here to here, it's a 135 tick range. That's a great range. And you've also got the hourly confirmation. So you've got an hourly breakout. You still have room to the upside. You've broken out of the noise. Like, that would have been a great trade right there. Any closure back below, easy exit. Obviously, it's easy to look back in hindsight and think, you know, I could have or should have done that. But to me, if any of you guys were maybe saying, I don't want to take this trade because it's already pushed too much, buying this breakout with a 30-minute liquidity grab is a very, very nice trade. No, definitely not, Josie. No. That's a good trade, man. I was looking at that as well. This is a good trade. The only thing with buying gold this high is be open to managing a lot more aggressively because we already have pushed so much. But no, this is a great morning star play, man. Fantastic. Fantastic trade. You've had the breakout. Gold's over a bullish. This could easily keep ripping. Silver was looking a bit nicer. Yeah, Ian, I saw your silver trade, man. Silver trade was fantastic. Yeah, Joe, this is a good trade, man. You're following the markets. You're continuing to buy as opposed to most people trying to short this. So you're doing the smart thing, continuing to buy. Really, really good trade. Yeah, if you were watching gold and silver, silver was definitely nicer. Like that buying silver at 7 a.m. was a great trade. Whereas gold at 7 a.m., you're already up quite high. bad day yesterday, waiting for a breakout, and I'm $200 away from max loss limit. How would you approach being in a situation like this? How do you mean? How do you mean bad day yesterday, waiting for a breakout? That sounds like a pretty easy day. Like you're waiting for a breakout, so how is that a bad day? Like you mean you took a lot of losses yesterday trying to trade the breakout? Because if you're waiting for a breakout, it's pretty simple. A lot of my yesterday was just waiting. On a US bank holiday, Monday, gold already gapped up on market open. Like there was no real reason to try and trade in here. If you're waiting for a breakout, like your job's really, really simple. When I'm waiting for a breakout, I'm waiting for like an hourly closure in my favor. Above or below this range and I'll trade. Anything in between is just noise. So these are the days, the only time where these days end up being a bad day, and especially like here last week where I didn't take a single trade in here. Now, the only reason these turn into bad trades is because most people can't bear to not be in a trade 24/7. Like people watch this. Whereas if this is the hourly time frame ranging like this, the best thing you can do is just walk away and remind yourself that, look, you don't need to be in multiple trades every single day. I don't trade every single day. I'm up 6,000 here on this single XFA here on Topstep. Do I trade every single day? Absolutely not. I look for quality over quantity. So you can see here on this main account, I didn't trade last Friday. Why did I not trade last Friday? Well, look at the price action. Look at this was last Friday. Look at this price action last Friday. And again, I know it's kind of hard to see where this price action can be annoying, can be frustrating. It can also be very simple. The only way that trading here gets frustrating and hard is because we make it hard. The markets aren't hard. The markets are just the markets. The markets are ranging. The only reason that we struggle in here is because we put our opinions and we try and force the market, as opposed to if we say, you know what, here's our resistance, here's our support. Very, very unreliable price action here in the terms that we're closing bullish, bearish, bullish, doji, bullish. Very unreliable price action. Therefore, my easiest job is let me wait for a closure above or below and do absolutely nothing in between and walk away. That's the best thing you can do. Best thing you can do in these times is just have your highs, have your lows, and just walk away and remind yourself, look, I don't need to be in multiple trades every single day. I absolutely need quality over quantity. But in terms of, if you're $200 away from max loss limit, trade, it's tough because $200 away from max loss limit, there is a high chance you're probably going to lose the account, but don't treat it with that mindset. It's okay to lose combines or it's okay to lose funded accounts. The biggest thing that you want to do is understand what got you to that point. Like, how did you get to a point of only being $200 in the max loss limit? Was it something that you did or was it something the markets did? You need to, because a lot of people do, we got London Open in a minute here, guys. A lot of people will, go through accounts and accounts and accounts and never actually look back at what went wrong. And then they always just all of a sudden expect to wake up one day and something's going to change. Unfortunately, that's not how trading works. So you just have to kind of accept that you're at that position, trade very small size. And if you need to take a couple of days off the charts, do that. Sometimes if you guys ever have a bad trading day, like you do something wrong, you break your plan, you make an emotional mistake and you come on the charts the next day, if you still have emotions from that previous day, just don't trade that day. Come back tomorrow. The market's going absolutely nowhere. So if you had a bad trading day yesterday and you come onto the charts today, still caught up on the emotions from yesterday, that's okay. But just recognize it and just say to yourself, you know what, I'm just going to come back tomorrow. The markets are going absolutely nowhere. Again, that's the reason I show you guys these stats here, is because you don't need to be in trades every single day. You don't need to be in multiple trades a day. You need quality over quantity. Exactly, Sean. They're the easiest days. That's what I don't really understand. I used to, where was Friday? Like these days on Friday, and like everything I say is literally me talking to my young self. I used to be the one who would try and trade in here and just get so caught up and take so many trades and so many losses and get so frustrated because I knew that I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing. Whereas if you go, cool, here's my highs, here's my lows. My job is extremely simple. Let me wait for an hourly closure above or below and doing absolutely nothing in between. There's no need for me to watch any of this price action. I'm saving my mental capital. I'm also saving my personal capital. Because these are the days, you know, these are the days where, like, let's say here, for example, these are the days where everyone makes money. We all make money here. We're all geniuses here. We all make money. And this is where everyone gives it back. And then you make money. And then you give it back. And then you make money. And then you give it back. And then you make money. And then you give it back. And then you give back more and more and more. So, you know, if we can just focus on these good days with good quality setups, because we have clear targets, we have hourly breakouts, and we have a nice readable price action, we maximize these days. On these days, we stay patient. We maximize these days, patience, maximize, patience, maximize. You know, that's how the markets move. The markets move up, down, and sideways. You need to recognize these markets and this price action as quick as possible. Same as the trade for Asia today. You know, you could have literally just said to yourself, you know what, here's my intraday resistance. I'm looking for longs today, so let me just wait for a closure above. Cool. Hourly close above, fantastic, take my trade. Easy, no stress, super simple. Let the markets come to you. We just have to remember, you know, we don't. We got London Open here, guys. We don't control the markets. We just trade them. So a lot of people think they can control the markets, or they can, you know, have some sort of impact on where the markets go. We just have to remember, you know, all we're trying to do is just follow the markets. Well, if we're trying to follow the markets in here, we'll play the range or just do nothing, because there's no flow in here. There's no breakouts. But when we do break out, amazing. That's the markets that I want to be riding. I want to take advantage of that volume. In here, there's no volume, there's no direction, there's no need for me to be forcing anything. It's my pep talk for the day for you guys. Yes, exactly, Jose. The best traders are the ones that come to you. Exactly. Yep, nice. Callum locked my account out at $1,000 profit. That trade just felt so simple. Watched all day yesterday. Definitely feel like I followed this strategy. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, that's amazing, Callum. Amazing, man. Yeah, they're the trades you want. The trades where you jump on it, it just jumps out at you. Like right now on gold, is there anything really jumping out at us? Not really. So that's why I'm happy just hang out with you guys and just chill, you know, talk about different setups, the plan, and let the markets come to us. Times where we jump on, we go, oh, cool. Got a nice liquidity target. Got a breakout. I got a bullish daily buy. It's like, these are the trades where you take and you go, you know what? That was a damn easy trade. They're the trades you want to be taking. Yep, exactly. It's never on me. Always the markets, man. That's not rule number one. Hey, Aaron, good morning. Hey, Matt, good morning, man. Was wondering about the breakout trades in the entry. Yep, if a tiny bottom wick forms very quickly on the 30-minute hourly, do you still execute the trade still? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, that, you know, this gold breakout didn't really have much of an hourly bottom wick. But again, you know, what bottom wick do we really need? The only way we need a steep bottom wick is, let's say, if this candle here broke above, like here. Well, then this next candle would need a bottom wick because the breakout level's here, so you'd likely come back down to here before then potentially going higher. But because we kind of broke out at the resistance, well, we don't need much of a bottom wick because we're broken out. Like, this is the level where we just want to be buying from. The only time you need a steep bottom wick is if you've already broken too high from the breakout level. So if you closed above here, then I'd want to see a steep bottom wick to retest this breakout level to then take the trade. But in today's example, because you kind of broke out at the resistance, well, I don't need to see a steep bottom wick. The bottom wick's, you know, it's already happened. Like, I don't need to see this. Any retest in here is enough for me to start taking the trade. And this level is the level you start managing the trade off. So if you buy from here, it doesn't work. You can manage risk very quick. So you don't need much of a bottom wick. You just have to be able to execute as soon as it opens. Again, these are things that you can worry about, you know, how much of a bottom wick do you need, or refining on the lower time frame, like kind of as you progress. But right now, you break out, you have clear targets, just take the trade. If it comes for a steeper bottom wick, well, that's fine. Doesn't make the trade invalid. So it depends on how high the candle closes. Depending on would mean how much of an hourly bottom wick you need, because you have to think about it. What is an hourly bottom wick? It's a lower time frame retest of a level. That's all it is. All these wicks is lower time frame finding resistance. Well, you're already at the support, so there's no real need to come back down any lower. You could, but you don't need to. So therefore, I'm happy just to take it straight away. I only watch live streams because the talks help me a lot. Thank you, man. I appreciate you tuning in. That's what we like to hear. No, not at all, Philip, because that's where I imagine... that's where our whole liquidity plan comes in, which is a good point, Philip. That's where most people would talk themselves out of the trade. They would go, oh, well, I feel like I'm buying too high. I'm buying at the highs of resistance, which is a good thing to think about. But when we understand liquidity, the reason you'd be buying today in Asia is because you hadn't grabbed the highs. And that's where I believe most people will be trapped in shorts. I believe most people will be trying to short here, risking off this all-time high. So because we haven't grabbed the highs, then that's what we're trading into. We're trading into the fact that we haven't grabbed the highs, and there's our liquidity trade. For instance, if here, you had wicked out the highs like this, say if this candle here had done this, or this is just a here, for example, so it looks like it actually happened. So here, let's see if this candle here wicked out these highs. Would I be buying here? No, because there's no liquidity targets. I mean, you could still buy for a wick fill, but in terms of the example, would I buy here if this liquidity is being grabbed? No. But because you hadn't grabbed any of this all-time high, and you hadn't grabbed any of the upside liquidity, you're buying up into where most people are trying to sell. So no, this is exactly what you'd want to see. Once you break out of this range, you go, oh cool, now you've got an easy target into that liquidity level there. But because the highs hadn't been grabbed, that's your target. If the highs had been grabbed, then I wouldn't be buying into it. That's a good point. Yeah, of course, man, yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, of course, man, of course. That's a good point. So as long as the highs haven't been grabbed, that's exactly what you want to do. You're trying to buy up into where most people are trying to sell, because that's what gold loves to do. Loves to get people trapped in the levels. Kind of like Friday, actually. This was my overall downside liquidity level from Friday. I didn't really get to short it, unfortunately, but this is kind of what I was imagining. There's a lot of people last week would be buying gold like this, trying to get this continuation. Well, what do we know that gold absolutely loves to do? Loves to come down and grab the previous highs or lows before having the real move. So people buy here, people buy here, people buy here again. What does price do? Comes down, rips all the lows, and then has the move. And that's why people go, hate trading gold. Gold's so manipulated. But no, if you can read these things, you can read these liquidity levels, you can get fantastic opportunities. And if these levels haven't been grabbed, we want to be trading into them. Obviously, I wouldn't short this one because gold was so choppy in here. But as an overall liquidity plan, that's what we want to be doing. We want to be trading into these highs and lows. Do you have notifications on a breakout? That's a good question, man. No, what I simply do is I will look at hourly closures when I'm on the go. And a lot of my trades this month have been watching. So I'll do my analysis here in the morning with you guys. And then when I'm kind of going about my day, I don't sit here actively just looking for trades all day long. I'll just look at hourly candle closers. So like right now on gold, you can kind of see you've just wicked out the highs. Excuse me. You've just wicked out the highs holding resistance. So is there a trade for me here in this 8 a.m. candle? Not really. So what I'll do, obviously I'm on stream with you guys right now. It's different, but like throughout the day, I'll say to myself, okay, cool. Well, in order for me to trade the next hour, I have to see how this hourly candle is going to close. So I'll just walk away from this hour completely. And then I'll come back onto my phone or on the charts at the next hourly candle close. Did it present something? No? Cool. Wait for the next hour. Did it close above? Yes, cool. I'll take the trade. What about silver? If you guys have an answer, give more an answer. Just say silver. You just expect me to take trades? What do you mean silver? Struggle with NQ today in Asia. I was looking at buying because the daily already grabbed a few days lows and closed back above. Completely wrong. Yeah, I mean, NQ is fundamentally very bearish, man. Very, very bearish. Fundamentally very, very bearish. Yeah, I personally wouldn't be buying NQ. I think NQ could have a big sell-off. Yeah, personally, it's a little bit of a wrong daily bias, man. I kind of see what you're saying. You did tag lows to say hold support, but fundamentally we're very bearish. Very, very, very bearish. Again, silver's trying to break out. If you want to buy this how you can. Me personally, I will not. All good, man. Is it going to high? Yep. That's all good, man. Just if you give me more, of what you're looking at, I can absolutely break it down, man. But kind of hard to see of just that. Yeah, I think it could come for the highs. Again, personally, I'm not really a fan of buying silver this high. You're above, so previous hourly, wicked out highs held resistance. Current hourly is above hourly highs. So this hourly didn't really break out for me to want to buy this right now. So to me, this could easily find resistance to previous hourly highs and pull back a little bit. Unfortunately, if we were trading silver, I'd want to be, buying back down here. Could squeeze the highs, but yeah, it's not going to be my trade. What would be my trade? Just wonder how we like an oil. Oil, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Again, I'm not a huge fan of trading oil, but we can absolutely break it down. You had this very nice, look at this nice trend line breakout. What was this last week? Where's this breakout? 9th, right at the start of the month. Okay, nice trend line squeeze there. So you guys know I don't trade oil, but the way we trade trend lines, exactly the same thing. People try and short trend lines. Well, what are we trying to do? We're trying to buy up into that. So nice decent liquidity play there on oil. Came for the second touch of the trend line. Sold off right back below. Higher time frame last week. Look at that huge weekly liquidity grab there in oil. Look at that massive grab. Held $60. So I would be looking for oil to come down and at least tag last week's low. I think that's a pretty easy short. In terms of intraday trading, you just tagged previous daily highs, which was yesterday. Already finding some resistance. Look at that. There's a pretty decent sell-off there. Again, I don't trade oil, but you can see it follows the exact same principles. You tag previous highs and then you break out. So people trying to short here, risking off the highs, just stopped out previous highs and now we're selling off. So I believe you could see oil have a bit of a sell-off. Again, I don't trade oil, so I'm not super comfortable taking trades on it. But if I was to give a bias and give a direction here on oil, I would be looking for this to sell off. Come down and squeeze the lows. You can see these. Look at these liquidity levels playing out very, very, very well. What do you do? Come down, tag the lows. Where do you come to next? All the way for the highs. Oh, nice, Callum. Nice. You took the shorts, or you took the longs up into liquidity level. Did you send it in Discord, man? Sorry, I didn't see it. Let me see if you sent it in Discord, man. Let me see. Was it in Discord? Oh, nice, you got it here. Let me have a look, man. Let's have a look. Oh, nice. Yeah, you got the short. Beautiful. So you got short on the 15. Oh, yeah, you got the breakout, the liquidity gap. Yeah, beautiful short, man. Very, very, very nice short. We got out of 1K. Amazing, man. Amazing. So you got short. You guys on YouTube, you got Callum here in Zoom getting short of the breakout. Look at that. That's perfect. That's a perfect trade right there, man. That's probably the nicest move I've seen so far this morning. So you got short once you grabbed the highs, broke out, and just took it down for just playing the range. Kind of similar to the silver short from yesterday. Really nice short, man. Really, really nice short. Clear targets, liquidity grab for entry. Perfect, man. All down to your strategy. Thank you. Nah, good execution, man. It's amazing. It's what we love to see. That's what we love to see. Following the plan right there. Amazing. Really, really nice trade. That's a decent sell-off. Don't know how much crude does move at London. Oh, look at this silver. Breaking high. Look at that silver. Silver's non-stop. Goldie finding resistance. Look how far away on gold that VWAP is, guys. So far away. At any minute, gold could pull back. Didn't want to hold it much more than that, man. That's a great trade. Again, just playing that range. You know, even just playing it back down into these levels. That's a great trade right there, man. Fantastic trade. Even just playing it down into this low here. So you create a nice double bottom here. Tag the highs. So where are you coming to next? Down for the lows. Even just holding up 15, 20 minutes is a great trade, man. Especially in the London session. Really nice trade, man. Really, really nice trade. Exactly out the support. Yeah, fantastic, man. Fantastic. Simple, you know, simple levels. Simple levels. Just nice price action. They're the trades we want. If that was gold, that'd be a great short. Great trade, man. Silver is having the push, guys. Like I say, unfortunately, I just don't want to be a buyer this on silver. Excuse me. But that's a very, very, very nice breakout there on silver. I would have been buying silver from here if it didn't grab the liquidity. We kind of hit liquidity, sold off hourly, didn't really break out. So it's kind of tough for me to want to buy this current era. And Goldie still Goldie's still topping out the highs. I do think gold, if any guys who don't, don't just start trading silver just because gold's not doing anything. As you guys who are following the plan, stick to trading gold. But I do believe gold is going to have to be a patience day today. It's going to have to be a patience day. Like I say, to me, this is so overextended. And this VWAP is a nice, good indication of where the average is. And this is very, very far away. Very, very far away. Yeah. Need to pull back 100%, man. And it can sometimes look like it doesn't, and it could just keep going up. And before you know it, you can sell off in 1 30-minute candle. You kind of see that a lot. When did we see it last week? There was a time last week where, look at this, you see a very, very, very here, very overextended. You have the VWAP all the way down here. You're very far away from it. You come all the way right back down. Same as here, very, very, very far away. Come right back down. Even all this, look at this. Still decent sell-offs before breaking higher. Even here, look at this. Very, 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 very overextended. So this is basically kind of where London is right now. Like we're all the way up here. Look how far away that VWAP is. You try and buy this high, and pull all the way right back against you. Could you short into it? I mean, maybe. I'd want to see a decent hourly confirmation, which it kind of could be now because you're tagging previous hourly highs. If this hourly wicks the highs and holds resistance, then maybe towards 9 a.m. I would just be very careful shorting gold at all-time highs. Maybe even just draw it up as a little forward test. But to me, yeah, this could easily pull back. Yep, I agree, Alex, I agree. Yeah, that one on my other chart too, yeah. This view up here, this is just the standard one here, man. It's just the standard one. And then on trading view, I have this. Let me send this. Which is probably my favorite one to use, actually. I know it's kind of hard, and it's hard to see the gold can pull back when you are this high. But like I say, you try to buy gold this high. Like, where's your, where are you risking off? Absolutely, man, no worries. Silver stealing the London show here today. Look at this. Silver stealing the show. So it's going to be a patience day on gold, you guys. I don't believe there's any. I don't think there's any news today. No, there's no news today unless we got any unexpected news going on. But I do think it's going to be a pretty volatile day today. You don't have any news, but it's the first New York session back of the week after all that news over the weekend. So you had a lot of Trump news over the weekend, and it's the first US session back today. So I think the market's going to be very volatile today, guys. Yeah, of course, David. Yep. Yeah, I mean, so it's a good question, man. Can you give us some advice? Yep. So I think the best way to identify, I'll give the silver example just because it was a nice move this morning. It's probably the nicest so far here today. Hanging out in Thailand, man. No, I'm in Europe, man. I'm in Europe. I did see Dakota's going to potentially Thailand. So maybe when Dakota does go, if it gets some dates locked in, maybe we'll have to do a trader meetup at some point in Thailand. A little trading retreat with Dakota in Thailand would be pretty cool. So the best way to identify a liquidity grab, man, is it's all based off the wicks. And like to me, this is a great liquidity grab. Why is this a really nice liquidity grab? Is because you wicked out the lows and wicked all the way right back above. And the way that you actually failed to close below this low is what kind of makes me realize this is a very nice liquidity grab, because this at one point was one big bearish candle, and then the buyers pushed this right back above. So to me, that huge wick rejection, grabbing previous lows, holding support, is what stops out a lot of early buyers. And it's the same as here, for example. What makes a liquidity grab is the fact that you grab previous highs. Excuse me, guys. You wicked out previous highs and actually held the resistance and closed below. That's your very nice liquidity grab right there. You wick the highs and you hold the resistance. Now, sometimes with these liquidity grabs, you might actually close below. If you close below, then that's where our fake out setup comes in. When you want to see the next candle, tag the lows and close back above. And that's another way to trade our liquidity plays. But the best thing to do is, what you really want to do is get good at identifying where needs to be grabbed and actually trading into it. So what would have been a nice trade here on silver today, just showing silver because gold's so bullish. And I want to give an example of what's happened today, not just a couple of weeks ago, is what you want to do is you want to understand these levels where most people are trying to short, and then you want to be trading up into them levels. Rather than waiting for, let's say, for example, you have a liquidity grab down here. Let's say down here, you have a double bottom like this. Price has done something like this, and then you're all the way up here. What you want to do is you want to identify that this is a nice liquidity grab because you haven't grabbed the previous lows. And you actually want to, when you're up here, trade down into them levels. Rather than waiting for the liquidity grab to happen and then trying to trade out of it, try and short or buy up into the liquidity levels. And again, a nice example of gold from today in Asia is this is a nice liquidity level. So rather than waiting for price to get up into here and then trying to go short, if you can see that this is a nice level the price needs to tag, trade up into it. So then you don't have to worry about what happens up here. And that's kind of one thing where I used to go wrong with trying to trade these liquidity levels is I would always wait for liquidity to be grabbed and then try and take the opposite side. But if I can see that this is a nice level that needs to be grabbed, well, I want to trade into it. I want to expose myself to buying up into it, and I want to take advantage of the liquidity grab. Now, again, just another example of sometimes you'll jump on and, maybe you didn't get an opportunity to buy up into the liquidity level. So what you want to do is if you break above, you want to see price break right back below, like the fake out example that I just showed, and then you can short out of it as well. But again, the reason for shorting out of it is because I also have levels to the downside as well, where, I believe a lot of people are buying here, risking off this low. I'm trying to short down into that. Does that help a bit, David? You can feel free to ask any questions, man. Ask any questions at all, man. The more you'll see it, the biggest thing to remember is, if you can spot the double tops and the double bottoms. Thank you. Yeah, of course, man. No worries at all. If you can spot the double tops and the double bottoms, that's really what we want to be trading into. For me, yesterday, here's a nice double top. And why is it a nice double top? Because what did price not do before selling off? It never re-grabbed the highs before doing that. And that's what we know that these markets, silver and gold, love to do. So ideally yesterday, I wasn't on the charts, but I'd love to be buying up into that liquidity level. And that liquidity level was my exit, because that's a high where we could grab before selling off. Didn't quite get the long because I wasn't on the charts yet. Therefore, I waited for price to tag the highs, close right back below, and then I got short. It was also a nice 30-minute or hourly wick rejection as well. That was hourly just bullish. Same as today on silver. Like I say, what would have been nice today on silver is buying into this liquidity level. Now, why was this a liquidity level? Well, you kind of see you didn't re-grab anything before selling off. And this is, if the markets are going to have a real sell-off and you do something like this, well, the reality is if we're going to have a true sell-off, you'll very likely do this. And if you haven't done this and you've done just this, well, then that's where you're very likely to do this. And that's what I'm trying to take advantage of, which, again, is what you would have been doing today on silver. Buying up into this high, because there's your, here's your typical, you have your high, you sell off, you do this. Again, if you're going to have that, Sammy's making crazy noises. If you're going to have a true sell-off, you're going to do this. So all we're trying to do is take advantage of this part of the move, like that. Let's have a look. Goldie. See, Goldie above previous hourly highs, guys. We could find some resistance here. Risky. Yeah, a little bit risky, man. I think what would have been a nicer trade is actually waiting for that 30-minute to close bearish. And if you wait for that closure back below, and then what I think would have been nicer is actually if you shorted here, short there, risk off that would have been a great short because there's your fake out confirmation. That candle closing right back below, that's your fake out to go short. Nice, pretty hit. That's me and Sammy. That closure back below, and then shorting here would have been a great trade, man. A really nice trade. That'd have been a lovely trade. That's Sammy. Yeah, that is Sammy. Lying down right now. Thank you, yeah, of course, man. No worries. On the basis, say we tag gold all-time highs and close below, would you look for a short into 630? Let's have a look, man. You could, yeah, you could. I mean, which 630 low? This one. Well, this isn't. This here isn't a liquidity low. Isn't a liquidity level. Why is this not a liquidity level? Well, because this is a candle that grabbed the previous low, so this was a liquidity grab to buy. So this isn't really a liquidity low right now. There's no real downside liquidity levels on gold right now. What will make you go short on silver in the next hourly candles? Nothing really, to be honest. Look, is silver bullish or bearish? Why would you want to go short? Do you want to go short just because you didn't get the longs? That's the main reason why people try and short all-time highs is because they're shorting out of frustration. They didn't get the longs. So would I short silver? Not really, to be honest. I mean, you do have a nice double bottom down here, which you could target. So if I really wanted to sell, how would I short silver? Took my second payout today, 11 days green. Thanks to your advice. That's absolutely amazing, man. Good work. Amazing work, man. Amazing work. If I really wanted to sell silver for whatever reason, well, here's our intraday support. So I would have to see a pretty strong closure below to want to short that. I have to see a decent breakout to want to short silver. Because right now, intraday silver is bullish. You're holding support, you're breaking higher. Holding support again, you're breaking higher. So the structure on silver right now is bullish. So again, like I said, you have to ask yourself, do you want to sell silver just because you didn't get the longs? But if you did get the longs, would you be looking for shorts right now? And if the answer is no, then that's probably a good indication to just stay patient. Right now on silver, I didn't get the longs. Does that mean I all of a sudden want to start shorting? No, hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Explain the liquidity grab so bad, but for me, identifying the levels on my own can still get tricky. If it's not a trend line, obviously up top. Yeah, that's which is fine. I've been looking at gold for 7 years, so I can easily jump on and see these levels. But if you don't see it quite yet, that's okay. It will come with time. You'll see it a lot more. All you really want to be looking at is big support and resistance levels where you haven't grabbed the highs or lows. For instance, here on gold, you didn't really grab any lows. So could you come down to the lows of this range? Maybe. I think you need a pretty big fundamental catalyst to change that, but yeah, possibly. We're looking at previous highs and lows, like here. Look at this. Great trade. Buying up into the highs. We're doing a great trade. Again, same thing again. What do? You come down, tag the lows. Okay, well, where are you going to come to next? The next high. And what do you do after that? Come right back down. And you can kind of see here again. Look at this last week. On the currency chart, this was a perfect double bottom. So people try and buy here, short down its lows. And then what do you do after that? Well, you have a trend line coming down like this. Well, we know the trend lines, we're trying to buy up into the trend line because that's what most people are trying to short. And you buy again. But if you can't see them just yet, it's okay. You don't have to. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect to a level that I might have drawn on that you don't quite have drawn on. Doesn't mean there's anyone's right or wrong. But because gold's so bullish, you're mainly looking for upside liquidity levels to keep buying. All right, YouTube guys, I do have to wrap up today. We've got to jump off to go to our visa appointment. So I do have to jump off a little bit earlier here today. There's no trades for me here in London, but really good session, guys. You guys asked some amazing questions and we shared a lot about the strategy and plan as well. Tomorrow, we'll be back to business as normal. Gold, huge all-time highs. I do believe gold can pull back. Does that mean I'm going to short? I'm going to be pretty skeptical shorting gold today. So it's going to be a patience day today, guys. Remember, it's basically the Monday of the week, especially for the New York session opening. Big news over the weekend. I think the markets could get pretty volatile. So trade safe today, guys. We have all day tomorrow and all week to trade. I will see you guys same time again tomorrow. Trade safe. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.